What's up, everybody? Noah Kish back here for my review of Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street. This is all about the journey to getting the show made, how they got Jim Henson on, and basically what this show was able to accomplish with just the first couple years and thus far. They only go as far as Jim Henson's death, so don't expect to see a lot of Elmo or Zoe or Abby Cadabby or Cookie Monster. We do get a lot of Bert, Ernie, Oscar, and Big Bird. This film is one I was really looking forward to. I saw this was coming out as part of the Sundance Film Festival. I just got my screener, and I am able to talk about it now. This is available on April 23rd in theaters, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street is a fantastic documentary. This is a film that I had a big smile on my face the whole time. Why? Because I'm a big Muppets guy. I love me some Kermit the Frog. I love me some Miss Piggy. I love Bert, Ernie, Oscar, Elmo, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Grover, Baby Bear, Telly. Pretty much the people that I grew up with. Now, this goes into how this show was able to tackle something like breastfeeding, like race, without getting in a lot of trouble, but also how one state, Mississippi, didn't want to air the show because of the racial parts of the show. And if you don't know, that Holly Robinson Pete's father was the first Gordon, and why he left the show, this is going to tell you why, because I'm 22 years old. I am not old enough to know about the very first Gordon. I grew up with the bald-headed Gordon. I grew up with a guy named Roscoe. This film goes into multiple things, and it also talks about the original Mr. Hooper's death, because they thought that what better way to talk to kids about death without scaring them and making them very, very sad, but also making sure that they understand what death is, why it has to happen, and what happens when somebody dies. So they used Big Bird, Gordon, Lewis, Maria, Bob. They brought in multiple characters who worked with the original Mr. Hooper named William Lee. And they explained that they weren't only saying goodbye to Mr. Hooper on the show, they were saying goodbye to their friend Will Lee as well. So they were doing both things at once. They were saying goodbye to his character while also teaching kids about what happens when somebody dies. And they also did this again with Elmo and his father when his Uncle Jack died. That wasn't done quite as well, because this one was a bit more sad. And no, they do not tackle that in this one. They don't tackle the Elmo and Uncle Jack death. They tackle the Mr. Hooper and Big Bird's death. The impact that it had on her. On him. On Big Bird. And Big Bird was originally supposed to be a big, bumbling, just dumb character. But Carol Spinney wanted Big Bird to be just in the mind of a 4-year-old, to help the 4-year-olds in the audience sit down and learn along with Big Bird life lessons, important things like numbers, like the alphabet. We do get the count, though. So we do get the count. This documentary tackles a lot, and I thought it was really well handled. If you are a Sesame Street fan and grew up with Sesame Street like I did, I mean, come on. There are grown-ups who not only sit down with their kids to watch Sesame Street still today, just because it keeps their kids quiet. They enjoy it because they incorporate stuff for adults to enjoy as well, like songs from their days as a youngster growing up, parodies, everything like that. This film is magnificent. I really love this film, and I can't wait to hopefully get a DVD or Blu-ray copy of this very, very soon so I can actually own it and show multiple people when it comes to DVD and Blu-ray. Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street gets an A+. I really loved this documentary. This is probably in my top favorite. This is definitely in my top 3 favorite films of the year thus far, and it'll be hard to beat this with another documentary or any other film. But this is at least in my top 3, and I want to thank Screen Media for sending me over Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street to review for you guys, and I will see all of you next time. Link down below to where you can check out all the rest of Screen Media's films like Trigger Point, Senior Moment, Willy's Wonderland, Skyfire, Cage Fighter, and Blackbird. I will see all of you guys next time.